How do I look?
Stunning, marvelous, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful, pretty, cute, mine, wifey material.
Those words of affirmation for you.
The number you have dialed.
What's up, guys? It's your favorite power couple back in quite some time.
5 months to be exact. 5.
Let's not rub it in. But we're gonna be back to posting videos consistently again.
Hopefully, right?
We promise, right?
We promise?
Yes, we
Okay,
promise.
yes, we promise. Oh, not as you feel love.
That's how I say.
It wasn't all your life. Talk about the 5 love languages today. Okay, girl.
What?
Let's check if you have a booger.
Do I have a booger?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Acts of service. When he picks your boogers for you. That's a love language right there. So we're talking about the 5 love languages today, which for those of you who never heard of the 5 love languages, it's basically the way a person feels the most loved. People feel loved in different ways.
Yeah, and there's actually a book written about it. You guys can check that out. There's also multiple amounts of quizzes that you can take online, and we'll leave one in the, what's that called?
Description box.
We'll leave that in the description box below. Take it when you have your own time. It'll tell you how you perceive love the most. That helps you out in any relationship that you're in. I mean, love languages aren't only for romantic relationships, like, you know, your relationship with your parents, with your siblings, with your friends, I mean, whoever.
So the 5 love languages are quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts. Okay, so here's an example. So for quality time, that is Matt and I going out and playing basketball together. Acts of service would be going to watch him play basketball.
Yeah, all the time, please.
He loves when I watch him play basketball. Yeah. Physical touch, that would be if I rewarded him with hugs and kisses for winning. Obviously, gifts would be if I bought him a basketball. And words of affirmation is if I tell him, you're the best basketball player ever. The history of
Basketball player.
basketball player.
Thanks, babe. So, you remember mine? Enumerate them in order.
Oh shoot, in order.
In order.
But yours has changed.
Well, love language, guys. Love
Yours
languages
has
can
changed.
change.
Number 1, yours is quality time. Number 2 is physical touch. Number 3 is words of affirmation. Number 4 is acts of service. And then last is gifts. That's your order. Am I right or am I right? I'm right.
That's wrong.
How?
Top to bottom would be quality time, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, then gifts. You got it mixed up with like words of affirmation and acts of service.
Really?
Yeah. I think acts of service is actually one of my highest ones. I always ask you to go with me to play basketball. I always ask you to make me protein shakes. The other day when you made me lunch, and I was like, oh, you're so sweet.
Okay, guys, I got one wrong. I flip-flopped it because his has changed. That's my excuse. But I always remember his first 2. What are mine? Mine has changed too.
Well, think about it.
Okay, hold on. Let me think of an order in my head. I think it's
10 years later.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, so number 1 is obvious for you. It's quality time. Number 2 would be words of affirmation, but that interchanges with physical touch because physical touch can be your second one sometimes. It just depends on what type of mood you're in. 4th is acts of service, and 5th is gifts. Am I right? I'm right. That's right. I know you.
You're right.
That's right.
Because that's the thing I always have a hard time with is words of affirmation and physical touch. They're literally equal.
But it just depends on what mood you're in.
It just depends. Like if I haven't heard you give me words of affirmations enough, then
you need
that's
it
what
more
I
than physical
need.
touch.
And then it just changes.
This
So.
is how you pay attention to your girl, guys. You just know. You want physical touch?
No!
Oh, okay, not right now. Okay, my bad.
Not like that, guys.
The reason why quality time is number 1 for me, or for the both of us, is because... Oh no, why is it? No, I'm just kidding. It's the foundation of your relationship. I feel builds the most memories, you know, things to look back on later on
something that's very intentional. It's not just you guys are both on your phones sitting next to each other. Different than just being with someone. It's actually planning something, you know, having that time together.
You make them feel like they're the center of your world, basically. Hey, why'd you smile a little bit? Smile a little bit right there, huh?
So keep in mind, guys, that these things can be simple things. For gifts, it doesn't have to be an extravagant, expensive gift. For example, last night, Matt over here came home with a boba. And he didn't even tell me he was getting boba, but he came home and he just handed it to me.
Yeah, and I was like, here's your boba.
I didn't even ask for it. So.
And then you should have seen her eyeballs. They're like,
they're like hard eyes.
Exactly. For physical touch, I know what I like is when I'm driving in the car, we're holding hands, and Malaya will like rub her thumb like that on me, or just go like this and squeeze. I'm gonna turn you a little bit and just squeeze my neck and massage and just make sure I don't have any knots. That just makes me feel loved. In terms of acts of service, would be the other day. I was getting ready for work. I was coming out, just fix my hair, you know, looks so good, right? And then, and I came out, and then she had my whole lunch prepared for me already, and I was like, oh, baby, thank you.
For acts of service, one thing that I can say is that Matt still always opens the car door for me. That's definitely an act of service.
A year and 4 months into this relationship. And I'm gonna just throw this out there and let everyone know. Give myself some kudos, credit point. Even if she runs to the car and opens the door for herself, I'll go around and I'll open the door again, even if she's sitting inside. I'll open it and then just close it.
For words of affirmation, even if that's just saying good job, saying you're proud of your partner for something they did. You look good today, babe.
Thanks, babe. Oh wait, was that an example?
Or if you want to go all out too, for Matt and I know we like to write each other letters. That is an example of words of affirmation.
Yeah, it is, man.
Or leaving your partner little notes, surprising them.
Hey, cutie.
Would you ever say that to me?
I would say that to you. I would say that to me. Yeah, do it, write it in the mailbox. You never use this word, hey, cutie. Oh, true. Cutie's like for high school, so I was like, I don't use that. Grown people.
Alright guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into some questions that were asked. You know, we put a question out on Instagram. So the first question is it possible for a couple with different love languages to succeed?
Of course. I think that it's common for couples to have different love languages. And you can definitely still succeed as a couple as long as you guys know each other's love languages and cater to each other's love languages.
That's a good word right there, cater.
Because it's important to love your partner the way that they want to be loved, right? Not just how you like to be loved. So let's say, for an example, Matt's love language is gifts. And let's say mine is physical touch, right? And let's say Matt is buying me all these gifts every single day. He's getting me all these expensive gifts, little gifts. He's bringing home.
Right, balling like that. No, throwing the dough away. And
then I'm sad because he hasn't hugged me, he doesn't hold my hand. He's
sorry. I thought you wanted a Louis Vuitton bag.
And I tell him I don't feel loved, and then he's gonna say, "What do you mean you don't feel loved? I've been buying you gifts all week." Right?
Exactly. Because I mean that can cause a lot of tension too.
Second question is it easier to be in a relationship where both members speak the same language? Love language, of course.
I think it is easier. That's because that love language is already what comes natural to you. It's already what you want. You won't have to put much effort into loving the other person the way you want to be loved. Right? In my opinion, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's easier for us because we both are
quality time.
Are
the 5 love languages the secret to a love that lasts?
Why did you do this?
Because that's how they quoted it.
Is it the secret? Yeah, I would say so. I think so. Of course, it's not the only thing you need, but everyone already knows the basics of it. Everyone always says communication, trust. What the heck? It's so common, right? Yeah. But obviously it's true, but that's not a secret, right? Because it's so common. So the love languages, I feel like it probably is the secret.
Yeah, not everyone knows about I mean, it's getting more popular now.
And even if people do know about it, it doesn't mean they actually apply it.
Yeah.
So if they did, maybe that is the secret.
Also, actually, you know what the secret is also?
What's the secret?
It's a combination of communication and the love languages. Like we talked about earlier, you know, in the video, our love languages over this year and 4 months, they've changed. It's important to communicate that to your partner, right? Because you might still be loving me the way that I wanted to be loved 5 months into this relationship, and you know, you might think, oh yeah, we already went over the love languages, you know I got it down, but you know, that's not how I want to be loved anymore. So it's important to always communicate that they've changed.
The next question is, what if your partner refuses to learn your love language?
Dump them. No, I'm serious. Honestly, if a person is not willing to love you the way that you want to be loved, that's already a red flag. You want to add anything to that?
No, I have nothing to add to that.
You agree?
I agree. So one thing, if your partner doesn't know it, but if they know it, you communicate and they refuse, then...
Yeah. The next question that someone asked was, do we need to use all 5 love languages to have a full relationship with someone?
I say yes, because the 5 love languages in general, you're supposed to use all 5. Everybody has 1 or 2 top love languages, but that doesn't mean you're supposed to just do the 2 and forget the rest, right? You can get away with just loving them in their top love languages, but...
Top 3.
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
In general, I think you're supposed to use all of them.
Which leads me into this other question. Can your partner still feel a lack of words of affirmation if you're still constantly telling them you love them all the time?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because especially if your partner's love language is words of affirmation, like you said, it has to be genuine. So you can be telling them you love them all the time, but sometimes you gotta say something else, like why you love them, right? Or give them words of affirmations in different ways.
I love you because you have a beautiful smile. You just make me feel like the most special person on this planet. Or I love you because you take care of me. I'm just telling you why I love you.
Great.
Yeah. Brownie points. Anyway, so yeah, tell them why.
Obviously, if they're your partner, you know what they're going through. Let's say, for an example, you know that your partner hasn't been feeling confident in their looks, right? So then you would compliment them on their looks. That's the kind of words of affirmation they need. Let's say you know that your partner is working hard on a project. The words of affirmation you're going to give them is telling them how proud you are of them. You know, they're doing a good job on their project, right? So it's not always going to be just I love you or the same thing. It's going to be based on what they need to hear.
Yeah, at that given moment.
Yeah, based on what they're going through.
That's pretty much all we wanted to talk about today. You guys really just have to know what your partner's love language is, and you have to be intentional about loving them the way that they want to be loved.
Actually, before you even know your partner's love language, figure out your own, right?
Yeah,
if you
sure.
don't already know it. So, and also you guys can figure it out together.
Yep.
Take the quiz together. That's what we did.
Yeah, and you know, have fun with it. And with that being said, guys, this is the growth for us both.
And remember, if you're not growing, the results ain't showing.
Bye. Nice.
Nice.
That's good. I think that was a good video. So, I have a question.
What?
So, realistically speaking, I know we've been together for like almost a year and a half.
This sounds serious.
Huh?
This sounds so serious.
I know. Well, it is. I mean, because I know that we've been with each other for about like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically speaking, I mean, do you still see yourself as my girlfriend like a year or 2 years from now?
Yes.
Really? You see yourself as my girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh, I don't really see you as my girlfriend 2 years from now.
What do you mean?
Serious, like I really don't see you as my girlfriend.
Why?
Because you'll be my fiance.